Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Definitely.
So it's this English learning podcast called Daily Money Briefing.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
It's actually pretty cool. You get the
Yeah.
financial news and kind of a language lesson all in one.
Oh, I like that. Sort of killing two birds with one stone.
Exactly. We've got three really interesting pieces for you. We're looking at South Korea's long-term economic forecast, a recent dip in their foreign reserves, and also a shift in U.S. policy on AI chip exports.
Yeah, and it's fascinating because they seem separate at first glance, don't they?
They really do.
But when you put them together, they offer you this clearer view of some bigger global economic currents.
So let's dive in. First up, South Korea's long-term growth. There's a new report from the KDI, the Korea Development Institute.
Right, and the headline finding is pretty, sobering.
Yeah.
They're projecting the potential growth rate could fall to almost 0%.
Wow, zero. By when?
By the late 2040s. And just for context, right now for 2025, it's expected to be in the high 1% range.
Okay, so that's a really steep decline over the next 20 years or so. Near zero growth.
Yeah.
That sounds like it could have some serious knock-on effects.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about pension systems, social welfare. It's not just an economic number.
So what are the main reasons the KDI gives for this potential slowdown?
They point to three key things. First, rapid population aging. Second, declining capital input, like investment. And third, slowing productivity growth.
And which one's the biggest worry?
Well, they really flag the demographics, that shrinking working age population. That's seen as the primary drag on future growth potential. Makes sense, right? Fewer workers.
Yeah, fewer people producing things.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep that long-term picture in mind. Now let's look at something more immediate, South Korea's foreign reserves.
Right. The latest figures, end of April.
And they dropped.
They did. Hit a 5-year low, actually. Fell by nearly $5 billion in just 1 month.
$5 billion. So what's the total now?
It's down to $404.67 billion, temporarily providing dollars to the pension fund, which helps ease demand pressure on the won in the open market. It's a tool to manage volatility.
Oh, okay. So using reserves to kind of smooth things out. Interesting. And this has affected their global ranking, too.
It has, yeah. South Korea has slipped down to 10th place globally in terms of the size of foreign reserves.
Right. Okay, so we've got long-term growth worries tied to demographics and short-term financial moves affecting reserves. Let's pivot now to the U.S.
The AI chip export rules.
Exactly. Big news there that the Trump administration just canceled some pretty strict controls.
That's right. Announced May 7th by the Bureau of Industry and Security. They've basically removed the country-based restrictions on exporting AI chips.
That feels like a significant reversal, doesn't it? Weren't the previous rules fairly recent?
They were, yeah. Biden-era rules. And the criticism was that they were maybe too complex, too bureaucratic, and potentially, harming U.S. innovation or competitiveness in the AI space itself. That was the argument against them.
So the old rules were focused on where the chips could go, like restricting exports to certain countries.
Exactly, based on the destination. But these new changes remove that specific country-based control framework.
So what's the signal here? Is this about boosting the U.S. AI industry?
It certainly looks that way. Seems like a move to support U.S. tech companies, the data center operators, the ones who really need these advanced chips. Likely a response to their concerns.
Right. Okay, so let's just quickly recap the three threads we've pulled on for you.
We had South Korea's potential long-term growth slowdown, driven hard by demographics.
Then their recent dip in foreign reserves, linked to currency stabilization efforts.
And finally, this U.S. policy U-turn on AI chip exports, seemingly to bolster their own industry.
It's really something.
They're constantly interacting, shaping this complex global picture. A demographic shift impacts growth, which might influence financial policy, while tech competition leads to major policy shifts.
Absolutely. And that leaves you with a final thought, perhaps. How do these seemingly separate threads, aging populations, currency management, tech export rules, actually weave together?
Something definitely worth mulling over.
Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.